Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjanaya Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjanaya Yamunatira Vanacharya Yamunatira Vanacharya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtatara Shata Shishimad His Divine Grace Shila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Gantra Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, we're reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, text number 3. Saevayam mayatedya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosime sakacheti rahasyam hyetad uttamam Saevayam mayatedya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosime sakacheti rahasyam hyetad uttamam Saevayam mayatedya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosime sakacheti rahasya hyetad uttamam Saevayam mayatedya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosime sakacheti rahasyam hyetad uttamam Saevayam mayatedya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosime sakacheti rahasya hyetad uttamam. Okay, we'll skip the word per word. We're on a marathon schedule. 7:30. No, but also timing is shorter. Remote is there. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. That very science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Purport. There are two classes of man, namely the devotee and the demon. The Lord selected Arjuna as the recipient of this great knowledge, great science, owing to his being a devotee of the Lord. But for the demon, it is not possible to understand this great mysterious science. There are a number of editions of this great book of knowledge. Some of them have commentaries by the devotees, and some of them have commentaries by the demons. Commentation by the devotees is real, whereas that of the demons is useless. Arjuna accepts Shri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and any commentary on the Gita following in the footsteps of Arjuna is real devotional service to the cause of this great science. The demoniac, however, do not accept Lord Krishna as he is. Instead, they concoct something about Krishna and mislead general readers from the path of Krishna's instructions. Here is a warning about such misleading paths. One should try to follow the disciplic succession from Arjuna and thus be benefited by this great science of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Praladananda Swamiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shunyavadi Pashtya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this first part of the fourth chapter, the acronym is the acronym from fourth chapter. I think it's ears. Ear, 2 years. And the acronym for the first part of this is E, which comes from eternal education. So this means that this Bhagavad Gita is very old. When we go for Sankirtan, we tell people that it's 5,000 years old knowledge, usually. And then one day, one devotee told this to Srila Prabhupada. Well, this Bhagavad Gita is 5,000 years old. And Srila Prabhupada, what did he say? He said, "You don't read. Why don't you read the books?" And then he told what he's saying in the purport to the first text of this chapter. He says, he makes a calculation, when was this Bhagavad Gita first spoken? He says, at the present moment, we have just passed through 5,000 years of the Kali Yuga, which lasts 432,000 years. Before this, there was Dvapara Yuga, 800,000 years, and before that, there was Treta Yuga. Thus, some 2,005,000 years ago, Manu spoke the Bhagavad Gita to his disciple and son Maharaj Ikshvaku. 2 million only. The king of this planet Earth. The age of current Manu is calculated to last some 305 million years, of which 120 million have passed. Accepting before the birth of the Manu, the Gita was spoken by the Lord to his disciple, the sun god Vivasvan. A rough estimate is that the Gita was spoken at least 120 million years ago. And in human society, it has been extant for 2 million years. It was respoken by the Lord again to Arjuna about 5,000 years ago. So only according to Bhagavad Gita itself, probably the Bhagavad Gita is spoken many times. But according to Bhagavad Gita itself, Srila Prabhupada makes the calculation. He says, not 5,000, at least 120 million years. It's like, wow. And then sometimes you meet Christians and they are like, oh, our Bible is 2,000 years old, the oldest knowledge in the world. And they're like, okay, very good. So this is just a a side note, just to show that this is a bit old knowledge. This is not something nowadays. It's very trendy to people write spiritual books. They wake up one morning, they drink a bit too much, they smoke too much. They're like, okay, let's write something, you know. And this is 120 million years, you know. It's not, and it's spoken by Krishna himself. I think in Krishna is not like someone who is fallible, that he is like, oh, has to revise, you know. First edition, second edition, third edition, ooh, like this science, you know. You have these theories, and every 5 years they're like, no, this scientist was wrong, but I am right. This theory is good. And after 5 years, another comes. Yeah, this guy was really stupid, but my theory is gonna be perfect. And no, Krishna, for 120 million years, he speaks the same Bhagavad Gita. He's got it right for the first time, you know. And eternally, he's speaking the same Bhagavad Gita. Of course, time, place, circumstances. So this is also important. It's important to understand this is spiritual knowledge. This spiritual knowledge means that it's beyond these 4 defects that we have. And then Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, there's 2 types of commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Commentaries about from the devotees, who present the Bhagavad Gita as Krishna wanted it, and commentaries by the demons who just adjust it. Like when Srila Prabhupada went to America, he writes in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita that some lady came and she said, can you recommend me an edition of Bhagavad Gita? And Pradananda Maharaj says it's like 700, 800 editions of Bhagavad Gita, something like that, you know, in that area. So so then Prabhupada said, no, I can't. You know, like you have 500, maybe at that time there were only 300, 500 editions of Bhagavad Gita. And then you ask Prabhupada, can you recommend one? No, I can't. Because it's all useless, you know. Everyone added their own idea, you know. Because the difference between divine and demoniac is that they accept Krishna or they don't accept Krishna. And demoniac even are trying to take Krishna out of Bhagavad Gita. There's some nice things, you know, these 3 modes of nature, interesting model, no? Yeah. But this Krishna is a bit disturbing in this Bhagavad Gita. So we are all also presenting the same Bhagavad Gita. And there's always a question which we should ask ourselves. Are we divine or demoniac? And I remember there was one podcast by His Holiness Bhakti Vikash Maharaj. He likes to be more direct. And the title was, Has Maya Entered ISKCON? I don't know, probably there's something happened or something. And Maharaj is making a podcast. Has Maya entered ISKCON? He starts, yes. How has Maya entered ISKCON? Well, through me, through you, through this devotee. Because, yes, we are devotees, but we add some other things also. We don't talk about Bhagavad Gita, and sometimes we also have some other parts that we put in when we preach. A little divine, we do quote from Bhagavad Gita, it's Bhagavad Gita Prabhuji. Then little something demoniac. It's not, it's not so, like, of course, little demoniac. But we still hide Krishna, you know. Okay, Krishna is there, but... why Srila Prabhupada says that the problem in the Hare Krishna movement is that devotees don't have faith in Krishna. So, of course, we do have some faith in Krishna. You know, we're here, we're chanting Hare Krishna. You have some faith. Something is happening. At least we have faith in prasadam. So some faith is there. But full faith? Maybe. Because if you see in Bhagavad Gita, and Srila Prabhupada also comments this on the introduction, says, how did Arjuna accept Bhagavad Gita? He says, this 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. It's the introduction. And then he says, oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Everything. Not first chapter, yes, second chapter, nah, bit controversial. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. So that Srila Prabhupada says that this is the way how you have to understand Bhagavad Gita. You have to understand, okay, this is completely perfect. Wherever you open, it's perfect. I was listening to some classes from Maharaj in America, and he was also saying, okay, that's Krishna, but also Srila Prabhupada is on. We should do the same with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, whatever he writes here in Bhagavad Gita, it's perfect. It's not that what Krishna says, this translation, this is perfect. And this commentary, I mean, some things are okay, and some things a bit controversial. And also, Srila Prabhupada sometimes said things that are, as Maharaj says, not politically correct. He said many things. Anyway, so the point is that we should have the same faith to Srila Prabhupada, because we're in ISKCON. ISKCON means this is Srila Prabhupada society. He's the founder Acharya, he's the most prominent Shiksha Guru, and the main thesis of this society is that Srila Prabhupada is perfect devotee. That's it. So whatever he writes in his books is perfect. Doesn't mean there's also, this means that it's perfect for infusing Krishna consciousness. You know, you can see sometimes Srila Prabhupada misquotes some verses. And you say, no, this is imperfect. like Maharaj says about that one person came to a class Tamal Krishna Maharaj gave. He had glasses, you know. And this person came and he says, you said this man is perfect, but he has glasses. So how can he be perfect? So Gokul Vallabha and Divya Simha Prabhu, you can never become perfect because you have glasses. But it has nothing to do. So that's the point. As long as you repeat the message of Krishna, as long as you preach Krishna consciousness, you're perfect. That's it. You know? And Srila Prabhupada was always doing that. So if we accept Srila Prabhupada in that mood, that whatever he said was perfect, then we get full benefit. And we'll be like, okay, this is... And we should, otherwise, Krishna consciousness will take this. And we should be in this mood, that because Sankirtan, it's not sales, you know. It's not, we have to do some business. We have to sell something. This is a spiritual activity. So this means also that if you go for Sankirtan, you have to have so strong sadhana. Because the books are spiritual, but you might not be very spiritual. And maybe even you do a spiritual activity without having any idea what you do. And so our first principle of Sankirtan is that your sadhana must be strong, serious, and sincere. You wake up in the morning, you go for Mangal Arti, you chant Hare Krishna, like focused. And then you can go out. You read a bit the books. Sometimes the people ask you, do you read the books? No, Prabhu. Like there was this, I know in Hungary there was this, there were children from Gurukul. They were going out for Sankirtan in marathon. And then there was like 8-year-old boy, and he's giving people this Bhagavad Gita, and then the people is like, "Oh, did you read this?" Yes, we were studying, and now we finished this, and now we're studying Srimad Bhagavatam, and different, more, more serious stuff. And then people were like, "Okay, good. I have to study it also." Good. So the point is that you have to practice what you preach. Otherwise, people are just looking at you. Another farce, another one who is just talking something and doing something else. Who cares? And we should also understand that we're giving really perfect knowledge. This, as Swayam Bhagavan Keshava Maharaj said, this is the solution to the problems. They might not understand that this is the solution to their problems. Oh, my son has cancer. Okay, this is Bhagavad Gita. Please read it. Like what? Do you know a doctor? Do something serious. No, this is the solution to your problem. Bhagavad Gita. Of course, we don't expect people that they will understand, but we should understand this. Yes, this is the solution to his problem. His problem is not that his son has cancer, or his son's problem is not that he has cancer. His problem is that he doesn't know that he's a servant of Krishna. And as long as he doesn't know he's a servant of Krishna, he will be here around, beating around the bush, up, down, so that's the mood, that we're giving perfect knowledge. This is the solution, like you have cure for cancer. If a doctor has cure for cancer, he will be very enthusiastic. Oh, yeah, let's give to everyone. Here you are. So we should be just as enthusiastic, because we also have, this is actual cure for cancer. No more cancer. There's no cancer in the spiritual world. Finish. And if you do this, and we do it in the mood to please Srila Prabhupada and to please our Shri Guru Parampara, because they want this book, this knowledge to be distributed. They found that they're giving the cure for cancer, and they want, hey, go. And we'll get some benefits. We get internally, we get purified, which can be even more interesting. And we get some realizations, We were speaking yesterday about realizations, about purification. All this is, you get it, And externally, you also distribute some books, or have some result. How many? 20 books. Okay, Jai Prabhu. Okay, but both are there, and it's important. Also, a number of books. Srila Prabhupada was really in ecstasy when he was reading Sankirtan scores. He was in ecstasy. This devotee distributed 54 books. Jai! And then he will listen 3 hours, like, and no, and this is Los Angeles. Okay, and next. Okay, and New York. Okay, New York. Jai! This devotee did 20 books. Jai! And Srila Prabhupada was in ecstasy. Because for him, this was not books. This was like people who got infected with spiritual energy. Like Maharaj was saying yesterday. So yeah, I'll just share a bit about the history of Srila Prabhupada Marathon. Srila Prabhupada Marathon, first marathon was in 1972. Of course, it wasn't Prabhupada Marathon at that point. And it was like more spontaneous. The devotees didn't plan anything, like there was no plan to... No. But I'll just read it. Rameshwara Prabhu explains. It was on December 22. So 22nd of December, 1972. And they found out that there's more people in the stores for some reason. Oh, so many people in the stores. And and the stores would stay up, they open until midnight, no? More or less, no? Something like that. So they have some competition and prizes and this and that. And uh, and Rameshwara Prabhu was in front of some shops, and he distributed like crazy all day long. And it was like 10 o'clock in the evening. Like, he was a bit in ecstasy. So he collected $350 and distributed like 650 magazines. 650, not so bad. I mean, they didn't have, they mostly distributed this back to Godhead at that point. But 650 books in one day, but not bad, you know. And he was like very happy, okay, this new record in ISKCON. I'm the man. And he was thinking, okay, nobody can do more than that. And so at that shop, the people, there was less and less people. And then he was thinking, maybe it's time to close up. And usually they had this tradition, you know, that when devotees would go for Sankirtan, and they would wait for each other, and then they will have some and chat. How are you your day? How is that? This day? Oh, I met these people. I met these people. So he was like, okay, I don't want to keep the devotees waiting, you know. So he went towards the temple, and then he was there. He got there, and no one, you know, no one waiting for him, you know. And there was only the temple secretary, Madhukanta Prabhu. As he said, Rameshwar Prabhu says, "Oh no, everyone went to bed already. They didn't wait for me." And Rameshwar Prabhu and the secretary says, "No, you're the first one to come back." You just, so that was more or less when they. It was like they didn't have mobile phones. They didn't have, but the devotees are just in ecstasy and spontaneously, you know, like everyone stayed up until midnight, you know, like something, and they distributed so many books. And then they had this 3-day marathon. No, they 22nd, 23rd, 24th. And during these 3 days, they distributed 18,000. I mean, probably back to Godheads mostly, but 18,000 is something. And they wrote Srila Prabhupada. They wrote to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was in ecstasy. He was in Bombay, and he writes to Rameshwar Prabhu, "It is scarcely believable that more than 17,000 books could have been sold by one temple in 3 days. This indicates to me that people are at last becoming a little serious about this Krishna consciousness movement in your country." And then he writes a letter to another devotee. "I could never have thought it was possible to distribute so many of our literatures. Therefore, I can understand it is simply Krishna's blessing for your sincerely working on his behalf." So that's simple. Srila Prabhupada Marathon is very simple. We do some effort, and if Krishna is happy with our efforts, he can give 18,000 books in 3 days. He can give us also 13,000, 1,000 Gitas, whatever, if he so desires. So it all depends on our purity. They say books are the basis, preaching is the essence, purity is the force, utility is the principle. So that's all. As long as we work hard to be a good instrument, to be a pure instrument, to present Srila Prabhupada as he wanted to present these books, then this marathon can be really successful. Okay, we stop here. If there's a short questions or comment or. I'm even on time. Granthara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
I was listening to this lecture today, second time, from Maharaj. It starts like Advaita Acharya, but the point is Acharya. This is this lecture. It's almost the last one. They put on a Dandavat today also.
I was listening to one, probably he gave one on Sunday, and probably he gave one in New York.
Yeah.
With the same topic.
They put this on Dandavat today. There's so many important parts and points, especially in USA. They're seriously starting